Yeah, this your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa. I'm not going to be up here that long, but I just want people to know that in this sector of YouTube, there's a lot of people that um, they have a record. We have a record of being convicts. Convict is someone that is convicted of the crime they've been accused of, crime they've been arrested for. Shout out to the chat. This is your homegirl, Arabia Bubbles. I'm not going to be up here that long, but I want to say this. I want to say this real quick and real close. Now, my four wishes, County, New York. We did our time. Your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, did her time years ago in the South Carolina penitentiary system. There was three different prisons at that time that serviced the women. It was the Women's Center in Columbia, South Carolina. It was Leith Correctional, and there was State Park. State Park was a co-ed prison at that time. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. I committed my crime in 1995. Okay? I went into prison as a young woman in her 20s, early 20s. I just got into my 20s. Shout out to the chat. But I committed the crime and I went down for it. I had to pay for it. I went into the fucking prison system thinking everyone was my enemy. Lord have mercy, child, Jesus. I got into that fight with my roommate. It spread. That action right there spread it everywhere. They put me on lockup. They gave me 18 months to do because one of the officers said I had kicked her, Sergeant Osborne. She wasn't a sergeant at that time. She was still a corporal. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 West County, New York. We are in the house. DL, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. And one thing I did do when I was in prison, and they locked me on the SMU unit right there, Leith Correctional. That's the prison I was assigned to do my time. I didn't want to do nothing right. Fuck the right thing to do. Shout out to the chat. I did my dirt. I did my dirt. And I got punished for it. They gave me 18 months on lockup, SMU. And then the 18 months turned into 3 years in 4 months. Almost 4 years. 4 years, because when me and my homegirl, one of my other friends from prison, added up the time, she said, Arabia, you said 3 years and 4 months, but it's really 3 years and 9 months. I was an asshole at that time. A true asshole. I would destroy the cells I was in, flood them out. I would get extracted from different cells. Shout out to the chat. I did my prison time. But when it was time for them to release me back to the compound, when it was time, I had already did 3 years and 9 months in solitude by myself. Didn't have to worry about nobody else. Didn't have to worry about hustling. Didn't have to worry about none of that bullshit. I came on to the compound at Leith Correctional. They put me on the Laurel building. It was a green building. In that building, you had the green tag. Shout out to the chat. Yeah, I did my time. And I did it the roughest way I could do. Because I didn't respect myself. I didn't value myself. I didn't. My parents, my siblings used to come and visit me ever so often, not once a month, not once a week. They used to come every 3 months, come and visit with me. And my mother saw the changes in me. She saw the change, but she didn't know if it was going to be for negative or positive. Shout out to the chat. My mother didn't know. She was afraid. She was afraid. Her biggest fears came true in 2016 because the woman that raised me, she raised me from 18 months old until I was a certain age in her home. I was asked to leave, and I left. And guess where I went? To the fucking penitentiary. Because that's the only other home I had. I had no other home. My biological mother wasn't around. My biological father wasn't around. Nobody was around at that time. So I chose my path. Shout out to the chat. And I came on this YouTube app. I came on in 2017. But I started listening to Tommy Sotomayor from 2013 all the way into 2021. I know Moonlight and Brown Skin Lady don't understand what he's talking about. Even if he sit on your panel, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Shout out to the chat. I remember living in Goose Creek, South Carolina for a couple of years. Around that time, I started listening more and more to Tommy Sotomayor. In 2017, Hassan Campbell came on YouTube and he attacked Tommy Sotomayor. I supported Tommy Sotomayor page. Come in there, look at the video, share the video, and donate whatever money I had at that time. A shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. But I realized this was a YouTube politics going on. There was a YouTube war and battles going on. I understood very well. I came on YouTube. I did my videos. I did my channels. But there was one day, my channel went into a different direction. And I was sitting under my true name. My true name. Arabia Barbosa de Soda. Arabia Barbosa de Soda is the true name of the family. Because when I go back to New York, that's what I gotta get in touch with. And the family I'm gonna be over is dealing with the Smiths and the Barbosas and the Bradshaws and everyone else that's connected with them. My job when I take over, my job is to do sit downs. My job is to do what I need to do to support my family. But at the same time, I got to take orders from Boston, Massachusetts. I got to take orders from Boston. Shout out to the chat. Right now, I'm not under Boston. I'm not under their jurisdiction. I'm not under that. They waiting. They waiting. And they want my grandmother to talk to me more closer. But she's afraid. She's afraid. Because she said Arabia can move to New York and then move to Boston, Massachusetts, move into the community. Arabia are going to become more like them. She's not gonna be a free spirit no more. She's not gonna help nobody no more. Boston is different from New York. Shout out to the chat. We are Cape Verdean Americans in my family. My family. We got Mohawk Indian blood running through our veins. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to my YouTube creators, my subscribers, my support team, my moderators. But I'm just saying what's going to happen when I move back to New York. Even Birdman knew. He said, you can't wear them baseball caps. You got to grow your hair long. You got to start wearing the business suits. You got to carry a briefcase. He said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you take over your family. A shout out to the chat. And in that world, I be sitting in my own house and do what I want to do. But at the end of the day, I got to follow the laws and the rules of my family. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. And it's honest to goodness rules. When something happens, New York has to contact the other family members. Boston, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I'm not going to be the only one sitting in a seat I don't need to be in. But I have to do it. Shout out to the chat because I got the Cape Verdean blood. Barbosa. Last name Barbosa. When my great grandfather came to this country, the last name was Barbosa de Soda. They cut it short, Barbosa. They try to put an S in it. Nah. He said, keep the Z. Barbosa. Everybody can read my last name on this shit. Shout out to the chat. But when I was born into this fucking world, I carried the name of Smith, Arabia Smith, at that time. Then I got adopted. I took the other last name. But when I came back to my family, I said, I'm going to use the name of my family. And that's what I started doing. Arabia Barbosa. Some other people call me Raymond. Some people call me Ray Ray. Some people call me Shorty. Some people call me Ma Dukes. Because that's going to be my next mission in life, to be a Ma Dukes over two different families. Two different families. Shout out to the chat. That's a lot of responsibility. And the only thing my job would be to do at that time, any disagreement they get into with other people on the street, regardless of what's going on, I gotta get on the horn and call Boston. When people die in your family or they be born in your family, you contact Boston, Massachusetts, the Cape Verdean community right there. Shout out to the chat. I know what I'm going to be facing. I already know. That's why my cousin was grooming me years ago. She said, listen to the voice of Tommy Sotomayor. Listen. Take heed. Then, of course, I listened to the voice of Cynthia G and Tanya TKO and plenty others. Plenty others on this YouTube streets. One of my YouTube creators let me know a couple of months ago, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. Shout out to the chat. Birdman know. He know my he know my position in that family. And he said you cannot wear them baseball caps. You cannot wear them t-shirts. We gonna get you a whole new wardrobe. Shout out to the chat. Your whole new wardrobe. Are you ready to wear those robes? Are you ready to wear those shoes? He said everything gonna get more expensive. It's gonna get more expensive. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Birdman knew, Baltimore knew, KK knew, everybody that was in my life at a certain period of time in my life. They know what kind of influence my family has. New York, Boston, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, the Cape Verde Islands. He said, when you appear the next time in New York, you cannot wear them baseball caps. You can't. You gotta wear the fedora and you gotta wear the dark clothes of conservative. Your clothes is gonna be different. Your shoes are gonna be different. Everything about you gonna be different. And you might not be in touch with your people, but it is what it is. I know you, Arabia. You're gonna go to New York, you're gonna sit with your family, and then what you gonna do? Find the baseball cap and go down to the Bronx and South Bronx. You're gonna go back to Yonkers, you're gonna go to Mount Vernon, you're gonna go to New Shell. But when you have to do business with the family, you gotta dress like that. You gotta dress accordingly. Even if you do have a female on your arm, she gotta dress accordingly as well. Shout out to the chat. And the female gotta look a certain way. That's why I was kind of glad I was adopted into someone else's family. But now I found my other family. And my grandma said, you got to take the reins. After I leave, you gonna be in charge. You gonna be in charge. And Birdman always told me, he said, you ain't gonna survive. When them baseball caps, get rid of them baseball caps, grow your hair back long. It's gonna be gray in it, slow. Shout out to the chat. But it is what it is. 914 West County, New York. We are in the motherfucking house. And it's raining right now. I'm getting ready to go back to the store in a little while. Buy me another beer. I don't want to drink too much because I gotta go to work tonight. If I don't go to work tonight, y'all forgive me. Forgive me. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. Good morning to everyone. It's still morning time, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I went on YouTube last night when I got back to my house. And I looked at Moonlight and Brown Skin Lady chats, their videos. I said Moonlight should have known more better than what she did. But Moonlight is doing what she needed to do because she's under Kwame Brown. She's a Kwamite. She's a Kwamite. And I understand. Me personally, I never liked Kwame Brown. Never did. Never did. I listened to Tommy Sotomayor from 2013 all the way into 2021. I still got the same mindset. But he called women like myself the BT 1000. He called us the BT 1000. The BT 1000 is funding you. The BT 1000 is protecting you. The BT 1000 takes care of what you don't want to take care of. You built your empire talking about the BT 1000 and the hair hats. Shout out to the chat. So a lot of women on YouTube got them hair hats on. But I see beyond the hair hat. When they take off the hair hat, what does it really reveal? It reveals their true hair, the texture of the hair. A lot of women on YouTube don't wear no wigs and don't wear no extensions. A lot of them women don't do that. They wear their natural hair. Those women are rejected for wearing their natural hair. Shout out to the chat. Because when I grow my hair, like, let's say I would to not shave my hair and grow my hair for the next, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm going to get the 360 crown because that's the way my hair rolls. I got black people in my family. I got Native American people in my family. I got white people in my family. That's 3 different blood types run through my arms. But I am an O blood type. O. That means the letter O. That means I can give blood to other people, but other people can't give blood to me unless you are O type. And O types are very rare. Shout out to that. To shout out to my father. I don't know why anybody's calling me while I'm doing a live video. I'm gonna shout out to the chat. It is what it is. Like and share the video. I appreciate one coming over. Like and share the video because I see a bunch of stuff going on YouTube that's not supposed to be happening. And Moonlight, basically, what Moonlight is doing, she is fighting against her own self right now. Her brown skin, and if what brown skin lady said was true, that means Moonlight is going against her own self. I don't know why. Moonlight can hit my panel anytime, my link anytime. Brown skin lady can hit my, anybody can hit my link. Anybody can write into the chat. But I know a lot of people are afraid to do it. They are afraid to do it because I already have a reputation on YouTube being a rogue. Being a rogue YouTuber is basically a troll. Basically. It is what it is. But my main focus right now is going after Faxo Fumes, the liar from Baltimore, the one that likes to abuse women and threaten women online. He do that in his real life. That's what he actually does. When he tells you to respect his gangster, he wants you to respect him for being a bum. Being a bum. When I was over there supporting his page, I supported that page. Even if I was supporting him, you know what this dude used to do? Behind the scenes, hit me on my email and tell me, I need you to cash at me $20. For what? For what? He'd give little reasons, but I knew his reasons was lies. See, a lot of women on YouTube got a lot of power. Got a lot of power, even though he tried to destroy one of the biggest YouTube female creators on this app, in this sector. Couldn't destroy her. He couldn't. He was trying to do it, but he couldn't do it. Now he running under another YouTube female creator. He hoping that he can hide behind her skirts. Her skirts is a mini skirt. She pretty. She got them dimples. She's pretty, but she's not gonna hide you. She's gonna tell you truth, tell your story, and then when you get done, don't disrespect her. Cause facts over feelings. I'm waiting for you to fight against a brown skinned lady again. Cause you did it before. Yes, you did. And I'm waiting for you to do it again. And I'm going to pounce all over your black ass. Don't nobody disrespect none of my female YouTube creators. I don't even disrespect brown skin lady. I don't agree with what she's doing right now between me and her and you. But that's my own personal feeling. That's my own ish. Shout out to the chat. That's why I got my own channel. So I can talk my own shit. Shout out to the chat. Anybody want to hit the link? Nobody want to hit the link. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. 914 Western County, New York. We are out of here. We're closing out this video. But I want it to be understood. I respect all the women on YouTube. Whether we had problems in the past or not, whether we declared war on each other or not, I respect every woman, every YouTube creator that is female. Shout out to them because they got the most balls, they got the most heart, they got the most courage, and they don't care what nobody think about them. They speak their truth. They go out here and do what they need to do. Shout out to the chat. Your homegirl, Arabia Barbosa, getting ready to go on another journey in her life where I have to take over a seat I don't need to take over. But I have to do it for the sake of my family. For the sake of my family, I have to take over that chair. And a lot of you that's on this YouTube app, you know what chair I'm talking about. It's the chair to my family in New York. And not only do I have to deal with New York, I got to deal with Boston, I got to deal with Rhode Island, I got to deal with Cape Verde, I got to deal with Portugal, I got to deal with all of them. Shout out to the chat. Y'all been building my character for a long period of time. Long period of time. Birdman told me, he said, you can't wear them baseball caps nowhere. Sell them baseball caps. Get you a whole new wardrobe. We're going to pick it out. We're going to pick out the colors and everything. Your house got to change. Everything got to change. Shout out to the chat. Yeah. I won't be able to wear them baseball caps no more. He said you gotta grow your hair back long, and you gotta start wearing them fedoras and the black robes of your family crest. Shout out to the chat. It is what it is. Y'all want to ride with me a little bit longer? Let's ride a little while longer. But in March of this year, March 18th, this channel gonna go silent. Shout out to the chat. It's not gonna go silent, but it's gonna be different from what you're used to. Shout out to the chat. I'm out of here. Be gone. Thank you for coming in. Everyone that came in, thank you for coming in. Peace.